the, this video got me into so much troubles with no reason. Just sitting in the background and helping them with stuff they needed in the gym, nothing more. It was a solid rumor that IFSC have an idea to do the qualification for Olympic in the combined format. But sliding on a volume, I don't know if it's necessarily climbing. Okay, it's hard to be an athlete in Germany. We say the German mothers prefer to have engineers or doctors or lawyers or accountants. I cannot teach Alex Megos how to put a toe hook. He knows it better than me. I cannot teach Yannick Flohe, how to become stronger. He can maybe teach me how to become stronger.
Welcome to another episode of the That's Not Real Climbing podcast. I'm your host, Jenny, and I'm excited to introduce my guest for today, Sagi Damti. Sagi has been the German team's bouldering coach since 2022. In this episode, we'll get insight into Team Germany's training and challenges, hear why he thinks the losses hurt the coaches more than the competitors. We'll get a story about his experience as an almost homeless person while in the US. And most importantly, we'll debunk his famous statement in the Magnus video that Olympic qualifiers will still be in the combined format for 2028. Lots of interesting stories coming up, so I hope you enjoy this episode with Sagi. I'm excited to announce that my sponsor, Mad Rock Climbing, just came out with a brand new pair of shoes, the Remora Pro. I was so excited to try them on that even though I broke a toe on my right foot, I had to at least try on the left shoe, so I can definitely say that the Remora Pro is better than a rental shoe. But really, these are their softest shoe ever, which means you no longer need to worry about standing on sketchy volumes and comps. They also have a crazy 3D heel that allows you to get more surface area when heel hooking, and inserts that lock your heel into the shoe no matter how hard you're pulling. Feel free to message me if you have any questions about the shoes or sizing, and you can use the discount code NotRealClimber for 10% off your entire Mad Rock order. Back to the show. So what's been keeping you busy?
Wow, so now those days we are handling the preparation for the World Championship in Korea. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy summer. I did the Youth Worlds in Helsinki as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now facing Korea, we do every week preparation for it. And the second thing is that in Germany, they are super planned to the future. So already now I started to deal with the plans for next year, for the training season of next year, and how we're going to handle everything budget-wise. And
Oh, you have to deal with budget too.
Not really. So my boss is dealing with the budget,
yeah.
the sport manager. But for him to establish the budget, he needs to know what I want to do in terms of settings, in terms of training camps and traveling.
And how was your vacation? Where'd you go again?
I've been in Spain, my let's say the home for my soul.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Spain. I've been there for 2 weeks. So after the boulder season ended, I could take some chill time. Also, the athletes took some chill time. And then directly from Spain, I flew to Helsinki to deal with the Youth Worlds.
Did you climb in Spain?
A little bit, yes. I got to admit that the last years when my, let's say, full-time job and mind is focused on competition climbing, it's getting harder and harder for me to see it also as my hobby. It started as my hobby, and I really love climbing, but then I find myself more and more feeling that the climbing gym is not the place I want to be in my free time. It feels like a little bit coming to the office,
Well, what about like climbing outside?
It's more exciting and it's nicer and I love it. But also I do it less and less, to be honest. I did climb outside. I've been in some nice locations around the place I've been, nothing famous. And most of all, I see it more as a chill day in the rocks, not pushing too hard, just enjoying being in nature and outdoors. And
Well, I guess I actually don't really know your climbing background. So, like, how did you get into it? How long have you been doing it? Like, did you ever compete?
no, no,
Okay.
no. I haven't competed professionally. I used to do some fun camps, like in the gym, but nothing more than that. Mm, I started climbing maybe 17 or 18 years ago, something like this, around the age of 20. I don't remember if it was a bit before or a bit after. And I came to climbing from a different sport that I did. I was doing a lot of skydiving and base jumping. And
Cool.
yeah, and then from there, somehow I got transferred into climbing. And yeah, it was very cool. I was actually in Italy doing some base jumping, and one of the locations that we wanted to jump from required you to climb there.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
Never climbed before, never did it before. It was a very easy climbing and like chill climbing, and for me it was very hard for the first time ever
Oh,
to
yeah.
to go and climb outdoors and lead climbing. But yeah, eventually I loved it, and I came back home and started to do it more and more professionally.
And then how did you get into coaching from there?
So it was like a side hustle. It was
Okay.
I was a student in university, and I needed some, let's call it, some easy income as a student. And they offered me in the gym that I climbed. They offered me to take some kids classes, and I told them I don't really know. I'm, I was maybe climbing for a year back then,
Wow.
and I told them I don't know how to teach climbing because I am not a professional climber. And the guy told me, it's okay. You don't need to know how to climb. You need to know how to work with kids. And this is something that I do very well. I was for many years. I was a guide in a youth movement, and also my studies was to become a teacher in school. So yeah, I just started like this with random kids in the gym, and step by step I liked it more, and there was kids that wanted to push a little bit harder, so I started like reading some articles and books and figuring out some climbing exercises, something that was foreign to me. And we kind of learned it together. I learned how to coach. Then it became more and more serious in my life. Also, I kept doing it also after university. I was already a teacher in school, and I kept coaching climbing in the afternoons till it came to a moment that I felt I love it way more than anything else I'm doing, and I fully committed to coaching and route setting. And yeah, and then the years went by. I became more and more let's say professional in the field. And yeah,
So you never had like a degree in like coaching or like physio stuff or anything like that?
yeah, so most of the, if we talk about coaching degrees in climbing, it's more rare. We talk about sports science. So
Right, yeah.
a lot of coaches learned sports science. I did not learn sports science. It's everything is, let's say, more autodidact. Like I just learned by myself the field that I was interested in. I did took some courses in a sports school, but not in a way of full degree or any kind of certification or something like this. These days I do have a coaching license and a certification from the DEV, from the German Federation. But again, I collected knowledge for 15 years, and it came by. Also, I think universities is a fraud. I do, yeah,
Okay. In
I
general?
yeah, I think it's especially those days. I don't feel it's needed. I think there are better ways to collect information and to educate yourself, or get educated by others. But yeah, I was never good at sitting in class and listening to lectures for hours. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of surprised to hear. I thought most of like the World Cup coaches would be, yeah, have some sort of like background in exercise science or like have been a pro competitor in the past. So that's surprising to hear. I don't know, like, if you know other coaches who kind of took that path.
My guess, I know a lot of my colleagues' education and knowledge. My guess will be that in climbing, I will bet 50-50. Like, I will bet that 50% of us have the formal university education, and 50% of us are more self-taught or have the experience from years of doing it. Anyway, we are babies in the perception of sport. This, if we look at IFSC, it's a federation existing for 20 years, like since 2007. Anyway, it's a very young sport, professional wise. It's also creating the one of the difficulties in our sport, that the community is exploding. Like climbing gyms all over the world, it's becoming more and more I don't know, popular and commercial. But from the other hand, the professional people that are supposed to push the field, it's taking time. So you see a lot of gyms spreading around like mushrooms, but you don't have enough people that root set professionally or coach professionally. So but I'm sure that we'll start catching up like with time.
Well, it's good to hear for people out there that it's possible to get into something like this without having a formal education background.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then more specifically, how did you become the German coach?
I don't know if it's interesting. I just have my own story. I was in a training camp in Innsbruck with my team from Israel, with the Israeli team or some of the Israeli team, and I had some, let's say, some meetings from other coaches around the world, people that I know from the IFSC circuit as a youth coach. One of them was Ingo Filswieser. He is currently is the sport manager of DAV. Back then, he was the head coach of the German team, and they were looking for a boulder coach, like a coach that his specialty is bouldering. And he asked me what I'm doing and if I'm interested of this kind of position. My first reaction was no, thank you. I'm happy where I am. Most of all, probably because to me it sounded imaginary. For me, from a country that is pretty much disconnected, as in the climbing bubble, pretty much disconnected from the world. And so it sounded like big shoes for my small feet. And yeah, it was a process of a few months when Ingo was pushing me and trying to convince me to go for it. Then they invited me to come for a few days of training in Munich to see the facility, to meet with the athletes. And this is what I did. I traveled with the Israeli kids. We just came for a weekend in Munich. And yeah, I liked it. I liked the atmosphere. I liked the German athletes. And it sounded more and more interesting to me. And then eventually I said, I sat with one of my athletes in Israel, not personal athlete, but Alex Kazanov is one of the best, let's say, Israelis, still the only Israeli that have a gold medal in a World Cup. Yeah, he was the first one, by the way, in Taiwan World Cup 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I sat with him and I told him, hey, I have this opportunity. Like, what do you think about it? And he told me, no question that you should go for it, because we needed back then someone to a little bit burst the Israeli bubble and go above what we used to know. And yeah, with his support and support from my personal friends that knew how scared I am from going out of my like comfort zone and going to a different country. I don't speak the language. I don't know the people. I think it's not the hardest thing that you could do, but it's hard also personally.
Yeah.
In my age, I was over 30,
Yeah.
to move to a new country, no friends, no family, no background there. It was pretty random for me. And yeah, eventually I had to deal with all my imposter syndrome and just like uh, go for it. And yeah, I did the interviews that they wanted, and all the background checks and everything. And I remember the day that I got a call from the boss of the AV back then, and he called me. I was in Israel. It was morning. I was on my way to the gym, or still at home. I don't really remember, but I answered, and he told me, "So we are interested. We want to hire you. Would you move to Germany next month?" And I was like, I haven't even figured out like stuff. Where would I live? What does it mean to move to another country? I don't have a European passport. How do I go through all the visa stuff? Like it.
Yeah.
And then I got a huge tummy ache and a huge storm in my belly, and I was just in bed all the rest of the day thinking, what am I doing? Like, is it what am I the thing that I'm supposed to do? Should I go there? Should not? And yeah, I'm pretty happy that I took the opportunity. And yeah, I think both me and the German team are um, benefiting from, let's say, a different mind and a different spirit than the German mentality, coming and trying to do new stuff with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to move. I've like moved around a bunch, like within the U.S., so it's different. I can't even imagine moving to a different country. But yeah, like not knowing anyone, especially not speaking the language, I feel like that's hard. Did you pick up any German?
Absolutely not.
Wow, really?
You're
Okay.
pressing. It's like the hardest point for me. My federation really wants me to learn German. Um, I am trying a little bit, but to be honest, it's just my ADHD is not allowing me to sit and study properly. I did catch up some of the language in a way that I can understand and connect some words together from what I hear. To speak it out is almost impossible for me. And yeah, for sure you can hear also that my English is maybe okay, but my grammar is not correct, or maybe I'm using like the words not in the most correct way. But as long as you understand me, I think it's okay. So yeah, I have difficulties learning different languages, and
I mean, your English is fine, I think. So,
my English is fine. It's considered to be very low level in Israel. In Israel, the level of
mm,
English is very, very high.
mm,
I failed English in high school, and then I failed English in university multiple
okay.
times before that. But yeah, I think what I'm happy about, something that I paid attention after working for 4 years in Germany and my whole life are in English. I think today I came to a new situation when I'm not doing the process of translating in my mind. So
Yeah, yeah.
before I used to think what I want to say in Hebrew, then translate it to English, then saying it. And now I think I'm becoming more fluent in the way that I don't need to stop and think how to say every specific word.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. So I guess for a lot of like more casual climbers like me, it's hard to picture in what ways the pros need to improve. Do you ever need to give basic climbing tips or reminders, or is it just as simple as showing them a video of them climbing and then they know what to fix?
No, 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 no. Of course, they are great climbers, but a different perspective, it's always something beneficial. Also, when those top athletes that I work with are climbing on the wall, I'm capable of seeing stuff that they are not capable of seeing, just because we have different perspective, different kind of, I don't know, understanding of movement, because we are different people with different morphology. Um, but it will come. So, for example, when I work with youth, so sometimes I will explain basic stuff like how we can pull better with our heel, how to move the weight more correct on the wall. With people like Yannick or Lucia, Elias, like top athletes, it will be more a conversation about how do you think we could make this move better, what we can try to improve. And yeah, it's of course it's also in the physical part and the technique part. um, but as a team coach, most of my focus is how we compete, how we go to competitions, how we perform, and what will be the team strategy to, for example, to gain more spots for next year or whatever. It's less the day-to-day training. I do day-to-day training, but it's the my main topic is how we're gonna take all of your capabilities and advantages as an athlete and bring them on the mattress on the right time, on the right moment. I didn't come and say I have new exercises how to do bicep curls in a different way that will make your bicep stronger. Every everybody knows how to train every muscle. There are no secrets. Um, so I think, especially in climbing, most of the effects that you can give are more on the mental part. you know I came to be the adult coach, not a youth coach. So I work with Alex Megos. I cannot teach Alex Megos how to put a toe hook. He knows it better than me.
Yeah.
I cannot teach Yannick Flohe, how to become stronger. He can maybe teach me how to become stronger.
Yeah.
And but I can teach them how to fight correctly, how to come with a better mental state to the mattress. Now, sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't. It's all a big journey that we do together.
So, do you have insight into the German team's time spent on wall training versus strength training versus hangboarding or cardio, stuff like that?
Each one with his plan. No athletes are the same. There is no right, correct planification for the time schedule for each athlete. It's a bit different, but they are on the wall day to day. There is no, besides the full rest days, they are on the wall every day. Of course, that every day have his own focuses or methods. And it also depends the time of the year. So before we start the season, we, like everybody, we go through the phases of improving power and improving technique, and it's going side by side. For sure, I won't spread our plans here, but to be honest, I think it's also let's say hard to compare or to say, hey, what Alex is doing and I will do the same and get the same results. It's not working this ways. And there are teams that are working on very different stuff. What we see in our field is also the route setting is really affecting the abilities that we need to have. So, for example, with the new style of setting, yeah, explosive power is more important than it used to be in the past. Okay, so of course, also in the past we would train explosive power, but now we do it way more. Okay, or reaction time on the wall. Okay, so in these days, with all the crazy coordination movement and parkour, reaction time is something that you have to train really, really a lot, because A lot of it is what's happening to my body in this second and how should I react for the occurring on the wall. And this is stuff that I can tell you easily. 10 years ago, we would barely deal with reaction time.
How do you train reaction time? Is that something is that a secret or?
Well, it's not a secret, but there is a lot of methods of how to train reaction time. I think the best training for reaction time, we should ask speed coaches, because this is like, you want to hear, I will tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing for me, but I will be honest. I will be honest enough to tell it. Last year, the last competition of the season was in Korea, and it was boulder, lead, and speed. Okay. We, in our federation, it was the last competition, so we had some budget struggles, so we could not send too many coaches. So I was responsible for the first time to also do the speed competition.
Oh no.
Never did a speed competition before. I was literally sitting in the hotel the days before reading all the rules, because I'm not so deep in the details. Like, it's okay, I know how speed climbing works and everything's fine, but the small stuff that you need to pay attention to. Then I was sitting during the qualification. I was sitting next to Yasui, the head coach of the Japanese team. We are friends. We are chatting about some athletes and what's going on. And qualification, they started running. And then I saw that the minute they are jumping into the climbing, the clocks that shows the time is like blinking in blue, something that I was not familiar with. I didn't know what it means. And after it blinks in blue, it goes back to the red color and running the time. And I was looking and I'm like, something is wrong with the clock. There is a problem with the clock. And I was looking at Yasui and I'm telling him, hey, I think there is a problem with the clock. And I saw it again and again. It looked so weird to me that I stood up, I marked to the judge, and then Yasui is catching me in the back, pulling me back to my seat. And he tells me, Sagi, it shows the reaction time. That's all. It's okay. Everything is fine. I was sure that the timing system is breaking down or something, but actually, and yeah, I was not aware of it, and it's okay. I'm not a speed coach, but the first thing that the clock is doing is showing the reaction time between the last beep, that symbol them they can go, and the foot leaving the pad.
It's okay. I guess I didn't know that either. I don't think I noticed it.
You need to know speed climbing, but in this moment, being a coach, most of the people in the coaching area, they know me. They know I'm like heading the boulder team of Germany, and standing up and saying, there is a problem with the clock. And no, Sagi, this is how speed climbing works. Yeah, it was funny.
No, that's understandable. It would happen to me too. Okay, so yeah, earlier you mentioned that you feel like one of your main roles as coach is to help your athletes through competitions emotionally. They are very emotionally charged competitions. So what's your approach of comforting someone who just had a terrible round?
I think it's not a secret, but I think compared to other sports, the mentality have a crucial effect in climbing. So you first need to kind of believe that you can do the move before you are actually able to do the move. And I think something that I understood when I started with coaching professional athletes in climbing is that climbing is an individual sport, meaning there is only one athlete in the fight, correct? It's not a team. And the problem with climbing is that there is no one to counter your emotions. So tennis is an individual sport too, and I'm fighting someone. I see my fight, I see how he reacts, I see that he's getting frustrated or angry, and we are not just passing the balls, we are also passing emotions between us and reactions to these emotions. And it's the same with almost every individual sport. Running, you see the people run next to you, they are pushing you. when you see an athlete coming close to you, you have this energy to push a bit stronger. And climbing is very different because we don't have a fight, or at least we don't see our fight. The athlete is alone against the wall, so he have no interaction to counter his emotions or to check, am I good, am I not good? Not more than looking to the side for a second and seeing another athlete climbing another boulder. But you have no fight with you. Okay, so from that, the conclusion is that the athletes in climbing, it's a pretty lonely sport. I'm alone, I sit alone in ISO, I sit alone in the call zone. I'm not allowed to communicate in the call zone, although we see some communication in the call zone, but it's not allowed basically. And then I go to the field of play and I don't have an enemy or a fight to go against, I'm alone. It's me against the wall. And in this situation, I think the best mental thing that I can do as a coach is try to give the athlete the feeling of together. Try to create a situation when the athlete hears my voice, he get the feeling of, I'm not alone here. It's not only for me, it's for the coach, it's for the team. Eventually, I think that it's also from a different perspective. It's how to say it in English. It's easier to quit on yourself than to quit on someone else. So when I wake up in the morning, I say I want to get fit. I'm gonna run 10 kilometers every morning now. So I go to my 10-kilometer run. If I'm running alone, the possibility of me stopping after 5 or 6 or 8 kilometers and saying that's enough for today, it's good, it's super high compared that if we go together, if we say now we're going to run 10 kilometers together, I don't want to quit because I told you we're going to run 10 kilometers together. You don't want to quit because you said, okay, Sagi, let's run 10 kilometers together. And this mentality is we are pushing each other to keep it to the end line. But if I run alone, it's way easier to quit on the way. So it's another element why I want my athletes to feel that, yes, they are climbing eventually alone, but they are not alone mentally. There is a coach behind me, there is a team behind me. And when you do something not only for yourself, not only for your win, then a team spirit can push you a little bit harder.
That's true. Yeah.
It's an opinion. I'm not bringing I'm not saying it's fact. For sure, there are some people that are better off alone.
No, I mean it's definitely true. But then I know in the past when I've had like coaches, it does push me to try harder. But then if I try harder and I still fail, then it feels so much worse because I know that someone was like behind me watching me and like hoping that I did well.
Yes, and the athletes I'm really open with my athletes, and the athletes know that when I'm disappointed with their performance, they know I'm disappointed.
Oof.
I don't, but
that hurts.
It's life. No, think about it. The athletes are not the only competitors in the competition. I am a competitor as well. I'm super competitive. This is why my career is competitive sport. If I was not a competitor myself, I would go be a mountain guide or teaching climbing outdoors, not necessarily being on the biggest stages in the world. And to be honest, I think, and I'm not taking anything away from the athlete, from the specific athlete, but a failure in a competition is way bigger to the coach than to the athlete. And I will explain it because let's say I'm coming to a competition. I have 10 athletes competing, so 5 girls, 5 boys. So one of them maybe is doing good and going to finals. Maybe 2 of them are going to finals, and that's great. So the athlete that failed and didn't go to semis even, he's feeling bad for himself. This is like one person perspective. when my team, even when I have one or two athletes in finals, yeah, I still have four or eight athletes that lost the competition. So I lose for each one of them. When I finish a competition, I lost 8 times, not the personal one time. Now, it doesn't mean that my disappointment is bigger than the athletes. The athletes, it's basically their life. They are giving everything. And to put it on the table, each one of the athletes, or 99.9% of the athletes that are coming to fight in a World Cup, it's because they dedicate their life and they dedicate years of their life to this specific issue. And I'm not saying my disappointment is bigger. It's just, I don't know how to say it. Wider, I don't know, because I feel bad for each one of my athletes. Even I think the best World Cup that we ever had was Brixen in 22. And Brixen 22 was a competition when we had Yannick Floe winning the gold medal, and we had Hannah Moyle winning the silver medal in female. It was amazing. It's an event that didn't happen 10 years before in Germany, when we have two athletes from two genders. We had some medals for Jan Hoyer, some medals for Jula Worm, but both together didn't happen for many years in Germany. It was a great success. Still, in the end of the day, after finals, I did 8 talks with losing athletes that were disappointed, and I was disappointed for them. And the end of the day, with all the joy of the medals, it didn't cover the big disappointed for the majority of the athletes.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I'll let you have that. Even though you have 4 chances to win, it's still
Yes,
it's still a lot of losses.
If it's interesting, I don't know, but we were fighting for Olympic tickets last year. We were fighting with mainly 4 athletes. We had more fighting for the ticket, but the main athletes were 4 athletes with the probability of fighting for Olympics. And out of these 4, we were able to qualify 3. So we got 3 tickets. Now, every reasonable person, will say, that's a great success. You qualified 3 out of your 4. That's amazing. For me, it was a terrible, terrible competition after the OQS, because of this specific athlete that didn't qualify. The feeling of failure was bigger to me than the being happy for the 3 tickets. It's mixed, and it's hard.
No, I think the losses always hurt more than the wins. I think that's kind of how life goes, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, when I see coaches at competitions, they're often the ones who are most emotionally charged, like even more so than the athletes. I think a lot of times, like the emotionally chargedness of coaches comes down to like decisions that were made at specific comps or like IFSC decisions. What are some things that you want to see changed as a coach?
I think the main topic that all coaches are dealing with now, it's what will be the system that will qualify for the next Olympic, for Los Angeles 28. And the urgent topic with the coaches commission, we are now establishing the coaches commission. It's still not done. The application process is done, and we are waiting for confirmation of the names by the board of IFSC. And I think the first topic that will be on the table of the coach commission is what is the right way to qualify for Los Angeles, because we have a very weird situation, let's say, when IFSC is the only federation and climbing is the only sport that got upgraded in 2 ways for the next Olympics. So we got another medal, and we got more places for athletes. So you know that every sport, they get 2 limitations: how many medals they can play on and how many athletes they can bring to the Olympics. Now, we are the only sport that got both of them raised, but still not to an ideal situation. So now with the new limitations that we got, we're going to have a medal per discipline, but the amount of athletes that we can put in every discipline is very small. boulder and lead are going to be 12 athletes per discipline. Yes. And for speed, it's going to be 14. Now, to IFSC and also to us, it's clear that a boulder competition cannot run with 12 athletes. It's not enough. It's enough for a final. It's enough for one round, but it's not enough for more than one round. And what IFSC is trying to understand is how to play with the amount of athletes that they gave us. Because, for example, if I qualify for Olympics, yeah, I am one athlete, but I can compete in all disciplines. So actually, if 12 athletes from bouldering will compete in lead 2, and the other way around, the 12 athletes that qualified for lead will compete boulder 2, we will actually get 24 athletes per discipline. And then it's of course better. And now the big question is, we were working so hard to get another medal and to separate the discipline, because, to be honest, the majority of the climbing community don't like the combined format. But now it will be ridiculous that we got another medal, but still we will tell the athletes you have to do both, because it's still combined. It's just another medal. So the question will be, how can we play with this situation? And yeah, how can we make it more established in a way that elite competition can run with 20 or more athletes? Same for the boulder. And there's no good answers, by the way. Nobody figure out like a magic solution here.
Okay, so I know, like, in that famous quote, famous video in Magnus's video, you spread some public rumors that Olympic qualifiers for 2028 will still be a combined format. So now it's like, it's not for sure. It's still being decided.
This video got me into so much troubles with no reason.
If you're interested in ad-free episodes and would like to unlock over 4 hours of deleted scenes, including one where Sagi talks about how his cultural background shapes his coaching for Team Germany, do consider helping support this podcast on Patreon. Some other perks include a membership pin shipped to you after 2 months, prioritized guest questions, or the ability to submit video questions, and more to come. The proceeds go back into the podcast to help me break even, and they help me improve the experience of the guests. If you'd like to help out non-monetarily, liking, commenting, and sharing helps a great deal as well. Back to the show.
I was not supposed to appear on this video. I was just sitting in the background and helping them with stuff they needed in the gym, nothing more.
Yeah.
It was a solid rumor that we started to hear in the beginning of the season around China and Brazil World Cups, that IFSC have an idea to do the qualification for Olympic in the combined format. But since then, if we understood IFSC correctly, we had a conversation with Marco Scolaris, the president of IFSC in Bern, and he said that they understand that it's not going to happen in a combined format, but we still need to find a way how to make it happen. Of course, there are athletes in our field that would like to compete in both disciplines. Like, we have athletes that are controlling both of the disciplines and they are pretty good, and that's nice, but it's not the majority. So we can mark maybe 3 to 5 athletes that really can do both disciplines in a really good way. But the majority of athletes does have like a specialty discipline. And yeah, but I have no new information about the new ideas. Like, okay. I'm sure there are some ideas in the background, but I'm not aware of it. But again, this is relatively a big problem. If we talk about small problems that will come to Coaches Commission, it will be, for example, this year we had a new pointing system for bouldering. So now we don't have a zone, we have a 10-point mark, and then after the 10-point mark, we have the top with 25 points. For each attempt, it's taking down 0.1, okay? So first problem, nobody likes to see numbers after the dot. as a ranking. This is one. It's not important. It's just visualization. But the main problem is that in the old system, attempts to tops and attempts to zones didn't have the same meaning. So attempts to top were more important than attempts to zone. So now what we did is actually attempts to zone, attempts to top, meaning the same, the 0.1. And we got this year, because of that, so many ties during the competition. Like, we saw multiple semifinals with 25, 27 athletes instead of 24 because of all the ties that we had. Actually, in the first World Cup of the season in China, during the semifinals, because of all the ties that were created, the head of delegation in the competition already started a discussion in the semifinals how we will handle a situation of 10 or 11 athletes in finals, and it's problematic not necessarily for the sport. Yeah, the final will be very long if we have 10 or 11 athletes, but also because IFSC is broadcasted, in multiple medias, and you cannot say, yeah, the final is going to be from 9 to 10, and then suddenly the final is from 9 till 11. Like, we're going to get cut off before the competition is done.
Well, it hasn't happened yet where that many people went into finals.
No, we had, by the way, we had 9 people in finals.
Oh.
We were very lucky this season. We were very lucky, but it's clear that it's need to be changed, and there are easy solutions to it. Attempt to zone is 0.1, attempt to top is 0.2, or the other way around. There are easy fixes for it. But if we talk about ties, that this year, for the first time in IFSC history, there was a tie for the gold medal in female lead in Wuzhang in China. It was an historical moment. Let's say, I don't think the athletes like this historical moment because IFSC was not ready with 2 gold medals. But yeah, it's the first time ever that doesn't matter if they went for count back or time or anything. Everything was exactly the same. It was an interesting incident.
Yeah, although that one wouldn't have been fixed with the point system didn't change for that, so it was just a crazy moment.
Yeah.
I know you had also mentioned that you kind of think, I think this is kind of a hot take, you think that even as a bouldering coach, you think this is like getting into no longer real climbing territory.
We can talk about it. Before that, I will say, if you are a route setter and you watch this podcast or hear this podcast, please know that I think route setting is amazing, and I think route setters are amazing, being professional and artists and all of that. And it's not criticism towards route setters that are trying to invent new moves and push the sport forwards. But yeah, I do think there is some kind of movement when we cross the border between climbing and different kinds of sports that are great sports but are not climbing. So parkour is not climbing. It's crazy cool. I love it. It's great to watch it, but it's not necessarily climbing. But for me, the main problem, let's say, is all kinds of moves like sliding. Okay, so climbing is about controlling your body, is about positioning your body, is about your strength, about your body awareness. Now, to put a huge volume on the wall that is dual texture and ask the climber to slide on it, I feel it's not more. And again, it's a subjective perspective of mine. Like, the next guy will tell you, no, it's climbing and it's super cool. And it is cool. But I think that, for example, and I have more examples, but sliding on a volume, I don't know if it's if it's necessarily climbing. Okay, it can be cool moves that people are doing, but I don't know.
What else takes it too far for you?
um, so stuff like that we already saw in competitions and that I don't like. For example, handstand on the wall.
Well, that's not allowed, right?
That's allowed. There is no
Oh,
rules. There is no rule against handstand. Um, there was a competition. It was Salt Lake 23, if I'm not mistaken, or 23 or 24. I don't no, 23 for sure. Salt Lake 23, the setters setted handstand, and the head judge canceled the boulder because
right. Okay.
for his perspective it was not safe, because falling head down to the mattress, it's not a safe situation for him. But we did saw this move coming in it was the quiff last year or the year before, and then they did the handstand, and it was super cool. Really, it
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
I liked watching it. I like to see the athletes trying it. Is it climbing? I don't know.
What do you think about this year's change in like allowing downward dynos?
For me, I have no problem with jumping down. I have a problem if it's a high risk for the athlete. So, for example, this year in the World Cup in Bern, we had the discussion around the boulder final number 2 or 3 with the crazy spin
Yeah.
in the top of the boulder, and we saw some very harsh falling. The problem was not necessarily the move; what's the whole constellation. Like the mattress that they provided there were very new, so very stiff, and because of this, hard falls from in an awkward position with your body can be very dangerous. The coaches, some of the coaches, did a safety appeal, and I think also the competition was delayed a little bit, a few minutes, till IFSC figure out the issue and then decided to allow it and to let it go. Um, yeah, I don't like when we take unnecessary risks on the body of the athletes.
I mean, in that burn situation, are you like happy with how it turned out? I mean, because I don't know what they would have done if they got rid of that one boulder. I feel like that would have been hard to deal with.
So for me, it's not. I don't think what they have done, how it would affect the results or anything. For me, if it's risking the athletes, then it shouldn't be there. For me, the safety appeal should have accepted, and the boulder should have been cancelled, or at least be considered only till the zone, although there is no rule talking about it. Um, but it's happened so rarely that a boulder is getting cancelled in a competition. I saw it happen twice. Once because of weather, like the wall was wet on this side, and then of course they cancel it. And in 2017 or 2018, I don't remember exactly, in a youth competition in Graz in Austria, there was a dyno to the top hold. It was dangerous. People knew it was dangerous. People saw the risk of it. But the competition ran till one athlete fell and broke his foot in a.
Whoa.
Wow, it was a very hard incident, and then the boulder got canceled.
Okay.
After an athlete completely broke his foot,
Oh, wow.
it was not a delight
Yeah.
to see it. So I think this is another, we talked about it before, about the sport is exploding, but there's still not professional people running in this level. So for example, we have no concrete rules or guidelines about how stiff the mattress should be or how soft the mattress should be. It's all kind of stuff, it kind of rules that we are taking from other sports, but we don't have professional people handling this specific issue. I'm sure that IFSC have it on its table. It's just that you need to run after many stuff, and I'm sure this subject will be addressed soon.
Good to know. Yeah, just going back to, I guess, like the kind of movement we see in competitions nowadays. I feel like, in my mind, a lot of the athletes growing up in like youth nowadays, I feel like a lot more of them want to only climb on plastic anyway. And like maybe this is something they're more used to now.
It's
So maybe it
terrible.
won't really be. Oh, you think so?
I think I was a history teacher in school, and I think you should at least know your history. You know, I have no problem with development. I had no problem that climbing is now competition bouldering. It's not bouldering outdoors. Those are two different sports that you train completely different to those kind of fields. And I have no problem with that. But I do think that we came to a point that now, as you said, there are many kids that are, we call them gym rats, that they are jumping amazing. They are doing crazy parkour stuff. They can switch their hands like 10 times before they stop. They do beautiful stuff. But if you take them to Magic Wood, they are not capable of climbing a 7B, because then you need to be static, control your body, hold the crimp, deal with the pain of holding this sharp crimp. But I think like most of, I don't know, developing sports, I'm accepting it. It's okay. It's a different sport what I do now than what we do outdoors. And of course there are, that it's a different generation, and it's completely okay. I don't want to be this this old generation that says, the youth is hearing terrible music. The same that
Yeah.
my father told me that my music is terrible, and his father told me. It's just a new generation, and I think I have two options here, and it's something that I tell my athletes when they are frustrated with the style of setting. I say, well, this is the game. It's our choice now if to play it or not to play it. And if we don't want to play this kind of game, it's okay. Don't play it. Go outdoors. Go do what you want to do. But if we choose to play this game, we have to recognize that this is the game and this is what we need to do.
The first thing that comes to mind when I hear that is that I know Yannick was very outspoken about the setting being a little bit no longer his style, and no longer like powerful and hard crimps and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, Yannick have a lot of feelings about this new generation of bouldering and where does it take him. And yeah, many times he heard me say, "This is the game. If you want to play it, this is the game." And we need to start working with the next generation. Yannick Floy is an amazing climber, and I think easily top 3 when we talk about power and his ability to climb. But now in the competitions, you are not judged by your power anymore like it used to be. Yeah, you are judged by new parameters and 1,000 new abilities that you need to have. Sometimes it's hard to catch up when you don't start as a young kid with this kind of style and movements. And this is something interesting when we look at the athletes that are more old. Yannick just a few days ago celebrated 26. I wish I was 26.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not being old, but I mean the older generation, they had their own style. They had their different style, and it's not only Yannick. It's also Yoshiyuki, and it's also Jakob Schubert, and it's athlete from the old generation or the older generation that used to have a different kind of climbing on the wall, and there were winning competitions with the old style, and now the style changed, and you have two options: or you adapt, or you just go away. That's both of them are completely acceptable. Some of the athletes are capable of adapting, some not. And for example, Yannick, he loves climbing so much, and he loves competing so much, that I think, for him, for example, all the hard work that we did in 24 to qualify for Olympics, yeah, was not bicep curls. He is strong enough. The most of the work that we did was handling the new moves, how to find myself in dynamic coordination movements, how to do slabs. This was the majority of the work that we did, and I think we were pretty successful with doing the best we can with this. And I don't know if you know, this year, for example, he decided not to compete in bouldering because for him, bouldering, he needs a break of it, and that's completely fine. And lead is more, let's say, more basic style, or more fitting to what he likes to climb.
Yeah.
And it's really important to like what you're climbing. Otherwise, you have no chance. Even if you are winning all the time, but you don't like it, then you're not going to survive. And these athletes, they're dedicating their life so hard to this sport that they like it. You cannot wake up in the morning every morning to do hard trainings and be wear down all day long and be, it's tiring. You are skipping friends, you are skipping nights out, you are not drinking, like a lot of stuff that if you ask me about my early 20s, I love to party. I was all over. But if you're a professional athlete, you're skipping a lot of these pleasures. Not all the time, but yeah. So you need to love what you do.
Do your athletes not drink? I know that some athletes in the circuit love to drink a lot, so I don't
Yes. My athletes, sometimes they drink. It's not nobody is a nun, but
Okay.
they don't drink like normal people in their age drink. They don't get. First of all, I think maybe they hide it from me, but I think
Okay.
they don't get drunk in a way that you don't remember what you did the next morning. They drink a beer here, they drink a beer there. Sometimes after the competition, we will go drink. Like if we won, we want to drink and celebrate it. If we lost, we want to drink to drown our sorrow. This is so. Yeah, but nobody. I have one or two athletes that are not drinking alcohol, but not as a principle. They don't like it. But
Okay. This isn't like a thing that you have a requirement for the team or anything.
no.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, just thinking about the German team as a whole for a second, are there any unique challenges you feel like the German team is facing right now?
I'm thinking. What will be the correct way to present these challenges? I think every team have challenges. Also, the most successful teams in the world have their own challenges. Specifically in Germany, I can say it in my perspective again, that the main struggle is the way that professional sport is perceived in Germany. Okay, so it's hard to be an athlete in Germany. We say the German mothers prefer to have engineers or doctors or lawyers or accountants.
Sure. Yeah.
It's less like that, but also my mother is kind of the same. My mother still calls me every weekend and asks me, Sagi, when will you stop with this climbing game and go do your real job? So yes, it's hard. And the biggest struggles that we had the last year is a budget struggle. We are lucky enough that our mother federation, the DAV, is a relatively strong organization, also financially. So they could cover a lot of our problems, but most of them are still open. And we have some budget struggles. As I told you, a huge country like Germany, and when the DAV, by the way, it's the biggest climbing federation in the world.
Whoa, really?
Yes, and it's one of the top 5 biggest sport organizations in Germany. And but we still struggled. For example, last year in Korea, we still struggled to send another coach that will do the speed. This year it's the first year when some of the German athletes have to pay their own competitions. Till last year everything was fully paid. All the athletes, all the work, everything. This year it started to change. Our budget is in a struggle situation, and now the A team is getting paid. The lower ranked athletes are self-paid for some of the situations. So it's not so easy. It's not so easy budget-wise, but again, we are far from being the only federation that is struggling with finance in our community. Like the Japanese team, by far the number 1 team in the world, have huge struggles with budgets.
What do you think necessarily happened like between 2 years ago or last year and this year that I guess made it harder with the budget?
For us specifically, for the DAV. First of all, inflation,
Oh, okay.
The IFSC circuit is becoming more and more expensive. We are required to go to further and further places all around the world. And the schedule is getting bigger with the countries that we need to arrive to. And from the other hand, we need to stay longer in each event. So for example, we started this season with World Cup bouldering in China, then lead World Cup in China, speed World Cup in China, and then lead World Cup in Indonesia. And we had to keep all the team for so long in Asia. And this year suddenly appeared a competition in South America. We were in Brazil for the first time this season. And a week after it was Salt Lake. And actually to arrive from Brazil to Salt Lake was more expensive than arriving from Europe to Salt Lake. So under these circumstances, and now we are going again, the end of the season, we go to Korea. It's a lot of money that teams are spending on this circuit around the world, traveling. And our field is still not commercial enough to earn enough money for it not to be a problem,
I see.
So we saw a lot of federations coming with less athletes to competitions. They have a quota of 5 and 5, but they are coming only 2 and 2 because this is the budget they have. And it's a true struggle here in Germany. I think maybe it will be solved the next year or two. Olympics is helping a little bit, but not as much as we need.
I think I've heard that the IFSC wants to do it in these new areas to expand reach and expand the global globally about climbing.
It's coming from Olympics. The base of Olympics, it's the 5 continents coming together. So IFSC needs to spread out. And I think it's amazing. I loved when I saw Brazil on the schedule. I was super hyped about it. That's amazing. Although I'm not sure that it's gonna happen again next year.
Oh, in Brazil.
And I don't think so. Not because the IFSC don't want to, probably because the local federation is struggling with raising the budget to produce the competition. World Cups are also very expensive to produce. till 2019, we had a legendary World Cup in Munich every year. The Munich World Cup was one of the biggest ones. He always finished the season. There was a huge party around it. It was a really hyped World Cup. And yeah, the DAV stopped doing it because the cost of producing World Cups it's getting crazy.
Do you know the cost right now?
Yeah, I'm just not I'm just not sure that I should speak in numbers, but I think that the basic World Cups are costing federations more than you think. It's a lot of money. I think it's easily can come to $1 million. I'm sure that federations,
Whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
they're doing it cheaper because we are taking shortcuts, but I think it's almost impossible to produce a World Cup these days with less than 400 or 500.
Oh, that's more than I thought. Because the last I heard, it was like 100,000. So that's much more than I thought before.
Also depends in the location. So, for example, I believe that Salt Lake is relatively cheap because they own the facility, they do what
True.
they want in the facility, and so cheap. But if you look at the new World Cups, look at Bern, look at Prague, those venues are being not how you say, they build them for the competition. They rent this park, or they rent these huge stadiums. Only the rent for these stadiums, it's tens of thousands of euros, and they build a portable wall, everything. Yeah, it's getting pretty expensive. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on a little bit, I guess we already talked about the Olympics a bit, but thinking more about 2028, what are you excited to see, or do you have any like predictions?
First of all, I never been in Los Angeles. I'm super excited to go to Los Angeles.
Oh, great. It's a great place.
Yeah, I've been in the US 4 times in my life, and all the 4 times were in Salt Lake. So
Oh, okay.
I need to
It'll be
spread around
different.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I excited to see? First of all, Olympics with 3 medals. It's something that we wanted for many years, and I'm very excited about that. Also, I want this Olympics to kind of symbol a new era of bouldering specifically. I think the format that we are working with now is not a good format, not for Olympics and not generally commercially. And I hope that the IFSC is working on bringing better formats. And it's scary to think about a new format because we need to change everything. Like, the base of the format is not good. Like, if I ask why we compete on 4 boulders, nobody knows why it's 4 boulders. Why we give them 4 minutes on the boulder? I don't know. What I know is that I think it's wrong with the format. And again, I love competitions. I love boulder competitions because I'm a boulderer and I understand what's happening. But think about it as a non-athlete. Yeah, we present no fight. So the majority of people in the world are going back to our nature instincts. We like to see fight. We like to see blood. The first sport documented is gladiators. Okay,
Sure.
we need to see 2 people fighting each other, not necessarily boxing, but you know what I mean. And when we see a climber climb, we don't see the fight. This is why speed climbing is so interesting, because we see 2 athletes fighting each other. So you don't need to understand if the hold is good or bad. You know who is winning, and we don't have it in bouldering. Also, it's hard to get the perspective in lead, but in bouldering, you really don't know. If you are not a climber and you don't know, this big sloper is so hard to hold, it's nothing for you. And so this is a big element that I think we are missing. We are missing the fight, to see two athletes fighting each other, and we can easily tell who is the winner or who have the advantage now or whatever. And the second thing, because of the format that we use today, think about the absurd situation that you are in finals and Yanya is in finals, okay? Yanya is coming out, flashing all the boulders, okay? And you are coming out and you are struggling to even get the zone, okay?
Yeah.
So what we see as audience on the screen, we see our best athlete, the star, the Messi of climbing. We see it 20 to 30 seconds on the screen, and then we see 4 minutes in a row of the worst athlete just failing on live. And can you imagine a situation that the football game is, the camera is not running after Messi and just focusing on a random no, it won't happen, so we actually give more screen time to the less attractive athletes and less screen time to the best athletes that we have, to the stars. And this is a weird concept in general. And we should think how, and what I think is, we need to, it's not about changing it, small changes, like saying, okay, let's do it 2 minutes or let's do 3 boulders. It's not this kind of changes. We need to have a new format to this game. And it's not easy to do something like that because it's hard to shake away old perspectives and how we perceive bouldering these days.
Yeah.
But it will have to change. It will take some years, but it will have to come.
Do you have like an idea of what you think would be most ideal?
Yes.
Okay.
But
you don't want to share it?
I don't want to discuss it. I'm sure a lot of people in our industry have great ideas. So it's not like I'm saying I have the best one, blah, blah, blah. I have an idea for a format that I will think will be more attractive to audience. The reason I prefer not to talk about it is because I'm trying to push it. Like, I'm trying to go to IFSC with these ideas and to test them. IFSC is doing test events in the end of every season. So last season there was test event for speed formats. You heard about it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it happened in Spain, and they did an event. They invited athletes. It was not with points or going to the record or anything. It was just a test event. And they tried to test new formats for speed, like relay speed or group speed or those stuff. This year, in the end of in October, we have a test event for a new format for boulder and lead happening in Japan.
Oh, okay. I had no idea.
Yeah, for a group format. Something new. I'm not saying if I like it or not, just saying IFSC is trying all the time and testing those formats all the time. So
it's not broadcasted or anything ever.
Maybe it will. No, I think it will be broadcasted. You can find all information on the IFSC. They did a press release about this competition 2 or 3 weeks ago during the and it's involving only the 6 best teams in the world ranking from last year, not from this year, and they are invited to just come and test the event to see if the format is working or not working. And
wow, I feel so out of the loop. Did they broadcast the speed one last year?
I don't remember. I don't.
Okay. I'll need to take
not.
a look.
No, the one in Japan, because it's a collaboration with a local company, I think it will be broadcasted. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. I hope so. That'll be exciting to see. Okay, so then moving on a little bit more into, I guess, your own personal life. I know you travel a lot. Do you like traveling? How do you handle it? I know some people struggle with that.
I love it. I love traveling. I actually hate being on the same point for too long. I love traveling. I'm sleeping amazing on airplanes. I have no problem with
Really?
that. I know that people struggle. Not me. I can literally fall asleep before the plane is taking off and wake up in the landing. I'm really proud of it.
Do you have any tricks?
Uh, yeah, sleeping pills.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
just I'm joking.
okay.
I don't use those. No, there are like tricks that not tricks, but methods that we work with athletes before we go to countries like USA or like Japan. You are starting to work on your internal clock before you go to these competitions. You try to get tired to the flight so you can handle it better. Some athletes are using not sleeping pills, but melatonin.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Not sure if I'm saying the correct word, but
Yeah.
it's like a sleeping hormone, not sleeping, falling
It
asleep
doesn't work for
hormone.
me. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's there are all kinds of warm milk. I don't know.
Okay.
It's helping as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there are methods, but I actually love traveling. I love this opportunity that I get in my job, in my work time, to visit so many different countries. Um, yeah, but of course, during the competitions, you're getting exhausted, and it's a lot of. Sometimes days of flights are feeling like the biggest waste of time in your life. You come to the airport and you wait, and you go through security and you wait. Then you sit on the airplane and you wait, and everything is yeah.
Yeah, do you have any like favorite travel stories?
In 22, it was my first season with the German team, and we had some issues. The federation had some issues fixing my working visa in Germany. It took longer than they thought. And then we actually came to a situation that I flew to the World Cup in Korea, and then we figured out that I cannot go back to Germany. My visa is not fixed yet. I already spent all the time that I'm allowed to stay in Europe, and I actually can't go back to Germany. So the solution came from the federation. Is the next World Cup was in Salt Lake, so they flew me directly from Korea to Salt Lake, and I was in Salt Lake 2 weeks before the team arrived there, just sitting in the most trashy hotel room ever.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
and just waiting. It was actually very funny. I waited for the flight in Korea. Okay, the flight was delayed 6 hours, so I was just waiting for 6 hours for the flight. Then I took the flight. I was landing in Dallas. Okay, and the flight was, I don't remember exactly how long, but very long, like more than 10 or 12 hours, something like that. I landed in Dallas and I had exactly 1 hour to run to catch my connection. Okay, originally I had a lot of time, but now I have 1 hour to catch my connection between Dallas and Salt Lake. And I was waiting in the huge line for the border control for the passports. And I came. I know you are American. I love America. I love USA. But you
You
can
don't have
be
to say that. It's okay.
you can be hard sometimes, especially on the border control.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I came to the border control. I give him all my documents. I'm with an Israeli passport and a German residency. And the guy was checking my papers, and he looked up to me and he say, "So let me get it straight. Yeah, you are Israeli." And I'm like, "Yes." "But you live in Germany." And I'm like, "Yes." "And you came here from Korea?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "I have some questions for you." And then he took me to the side. It took way more than an hour. All the questions I had to show him pictures and approvals from IFSC that I'm going to the competition. It was a long story. Of course, I missed my connection to Salt Lake, and actually I arrived to Salt Lake in the middle of the night the day after. It was 2 a.m. I came to the hotel that I was booked in, and they tell me in the entrance, sorry, we have no room for you. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm booked for like 2 weeks to this hotel. What do you mean you have no room? And they say, well, you were late more than 24 hours, so the reservation is canceled and we have no room for you. 2 a.m. And I'm like, okay, come on. So can just give me a room and can we fix it in the morning? I will be here first thing 7, 8 in the morning, whenever you want, and we will fix it. And he said, I have no room to give you, man. There is no availability. And I was like, okay. So I took my bag, I throwed it on the couch in the lobby, and I told him, then I will just stay here till the morning will come and we will fix it. And eventually it was nice enough. He took me to the employer's room where they can rest for an hour or two. I was super hungry. It was the middle of the night. I told him, thanks a lot. What I can eat here, it was my first time in Salt Lake, 22. What I can catch up to eat. And he said, well, you can go to the vending machine and eat some Pringles, or you can go to the McDonald's across the street. I said, okay, it is what I have now. It's the middle of the night. I'm going to buy some fries and a burger and it will be fine. I go to the McDonald's. Of course, the restaurant was closed. You have to go in the drive-in. Only the drive-in was open.
Okay. Yeah.
I was standing between cars to go like to the window. And then I come up to the window and the nice lady there tells me, sorry, I cannot serve you if you're not in a car.
I've heard that before.
I look at her. I'm that close to crying. No joke. Yeah. It was the worst 48 hours since I left Korea. It was just the worst time of my life. I looked terrible. I was exhausted. I was more than 24 hours just waiting in airports. And I told her, listen, I've been through so much and it's so hard for me right now. I'm just hungry. Can you just please sell me some food? And she's like, let me check it. She goes to the back and she comes back with a to-go bag, brown McDonald's bag, full with fries. I didn't order it yet. I didn't ask for anything. She gives me this bag and she tells me, have a safe night, sir. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm bringing my wallet up. And she's telling me, you don't need to pay. Have a safe night. And I'm like, oh, that's super nice. I never know that they're so kind in America. And I'm walking with my doggy bag. And the next thing I see is a group of homeless people with the same doggy bag as me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, she thought I'm an homeless. So the first thing I did the day after is to go take a haircut and shave my beard. But for sure, this was the worst traveling I ever had.
I asked for favorite travel stories, but okay, that's fine.
I think it's the best one. Now I can laugh about it. Back then, it was pretty terrible.
Sorry for that terrible experience. It might be even worse now, given all the border protection stuff. So yeah, let's get into some of the audience submitted questions.
Oh, I didn't know that we have this thing. Okay, yeah, let's go for a question.
So first one from Instagram. This one might be controversial. I don't know where it came from. Opinion on the situation of the athletes in Germany that hate the DAV.
Whoa.
I don't know what that means. I need some context.
Yeah. So it's never easy to balance between what an athlete need and a federation that have other priorities than what the athletes need necessarily. So we need to understand the structure of DAV is a huge federation, and competitive climbing, it's maybe the smallest, part of the federation. The DAV have huge things going in the world. They are managing the mountains of Germany. You know, they are responsible for treks in the mountains, for the huts in the mountains. It's a crazy big very interesting federation. And competitive climbing is the smallest dot on this DAV map. To put it in context, I'm guessing that this question is coming because the last years that the money support that we're getting is less and less, and we are coming the first year ever that athletes need to pay for their own competitions. And of course we have some struggles, and in the core of DAV, they are not very competitive. So competition climbing is not as important as climbing as a culture, so the culture of climbing is more important than winning this medal or winning this medal. It's not on their top of their priorities, and it's conflicting with athletes that for them the top of the priority is this, and they are dedicating their life for the sports, and then they train for years and prepare, and now Sagi as the coach decided to send them to a competition in China, and the federation is saying, well, that's nice and that's very cool that you have some achievements, but you need to pay it by yourself. And when we are talking about going to a competition in China, we are talking thousands of euros that you need to pay from somewhere. Also, I think it's a bit of an online wording, or I don't want to say propaganda, but it's not. I don't think athletes are hating DAV. I think they have conflict, they are not agreeing on everything, or maybe they have personal problems with specific people. But DAV as a federation is, maybe I will get in troubles for saying it, but DAV is not a competitive sport federation.
Yeah,
it's an alpine federation. And they exist since 1869 as a federation, and this climbing sport came to them like, this federation is almost 200 years old, almost.
Oh, yeah.
And this sport came seriously like 20 years ago, and it's just something that the federation is catching up with. I think it will take 2, 3, 4 years for the federation to maybe a little bit catch up with what's happening, and then I imagine, or I hope, the situation will be better in a few years.
All right, sounds good. Next couple questions will be a little bit more climbing related, not so heavy hitting.
I love heavy. I have no problem.
I think that was the only heavy hitting one. So the next one, just talk through the thought process on an appeal, both against another athlete and appealing for your athlete. I think as viewers, we don't get much info into how that works.
It's pretty simple, and different coaches have different agendas about that. So for me, I appeal as only if it's affect one of my athletes. Okay. So for example, if I appeal an American athlete, and the appeal is going through, and it make my athlete being 24 in semis instead of 25 out of semis, I will go for this appeal if it have meaning. If it's not affecting my athletes, most of the time I will choose not to appeal. But sometimes, and it's not my personal agenda, it's just because I know the other coaches, sometimes appeals are coming for IFSC to notice a problem in the rules, or to, let's say, educate the judges. So if in qualifications you see a judge that is not judging zone positions correctly, even if it's not affecting your athletes, you want to appeal about it and to make the head judge notice, because this same judge will judge your athletes in the next round in semifinals, and you want him to be more correct. But it's not a secret that a lot of coaches are doing a strategical appeals. And a strategical appeals, their point is, it's like a big check game. We try to get the best advantages that we can get for our athletes. So And this is, sometimes people don't know it, this is the main job of a coach in a competition, since we are not allowed to communicate with the athletes, you know? So if I'm sitting in the coach area and I'm not allowed to communicate, what's the difference between me and the guy sitting in the audience taking a video with his phone, you know? This is kind of my main job, is to look for the holes in what the judges are doing and to bring it up and to fight with it. And I can give an interesting example from Helsinki, from the semifinal in bouldering. Okay, I had an athlete ranked number 8, meaning going into finals. Okay, and the French team had an athlete ranked number 9 or 10. I don't remember exactly where she won, but she was below. Then the French coaches decided to appeal for her to get a zone, okay, that she didn't got. Okay, now the appeal went through. IFSC went through the judging cameras and then decided, yes, it is a zone. And it made the French athlete go to 8th place and drop down the German athlete out of finals. Never mind that if you, after the competition, when we checked the videos, the judges were wrong and it was not a zone. So during the competition, I had nothing to do about it because we are not allowed to appeal against an appeal. If an issue is being appealed once, it's not allowed in the rules to appeal against about it. So after the French submitted an appeal for them to give her a zone, me as the German coach, I have nothing in my hands to do. Interesting that the day after, the same French athlete, stood on the podium. So this appeal by the coaches had a lot of meaning. It's not only that they brought her from not going to finals to go to finals, they brought her a medal. And so this is why appeals are so, a lot of times, emotional. Sometimes you see it in the camera, you see the coaches arguing with the judges. Of course, sometimes appeals don't have this much importance, but most of the times we are fighting for the next round. We are fighting for the chance for a medal. My job is to know the rules so good so I can find where the judges are missing, and to play with it.
Any harsh feelings there with getting
Yes.
appealed out of? Oh,
Of
okay.
course, harsh feeling, yes.
I argued with the judge a lot, and after she didn't accept my arguments, I also discussed it with other judges around the world, getting their feedback about the videos. So of course I feel bad for my athlete, but most of us coaches, because we know each other so well,
Yeah, exactly.
it's most of the coaches, I see them more than I see my family. During the competition rounds, we spend so much time together. We have to be also friendly with each other. And in the end of the day, when I am broken after a hard competition, and for example, Nico Januel, the French coach, is broken from a difficult competition, we will sit together and we will be each other friends, not only in a professional level. Most of us are able to be professional about it. So now I'm not angry at the French coach. The French coach did his job and he found the hole in the system and he took it and he made a medal for the French team. And this is his job. I have no bad feelings toward the coach.
So towards the judge.
Yes.
Okay. Oof.
Also that there are some judges that you like their character, some judges that you don't like, but in the end of the day, we have to remember two key issues. First of all, it's nothing personal. The judge does not take the decision against me. He took a decision, okay, a professional decision in his perspective, even if I don't agree. So nothing here is personal. It's all professional. And the second thing, it's a game. We are here to play and have fun. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, but the main issue is having fun,
Good to hear it's mostly okay. Okay, well, let's do one last one. I know we're kind of running low on time. So what do you do in ISO?
Sleeping.
Okay.
No, it's of course a complete joke. what I do in ISO. So I prepare my athletes for the moment of competition. So we do warm up together, we do activation for the body. If it's lead, I'm giving them circuits to get the pump out. If it's boulder, we are trying to expect moves, and yeah, we are most of all warming up. Second of all, it's also a very friendly place to mingle with other coaches. I can tell you that sometimes ISO is very boring. If you're going to ISO at 7 in the morning and your athlete is climbing at 11, you are not warming up for 4 hours. You have it like 2 hours, and then 2 hours you are kind in a waiting position.
Well, but are you usually in ISO, or like usually you'd be out in the coaches area in the mats?
It depends. So we need a coach on the mats from the minute the competition started, because we need to take care of appeals from the first athlete that is climbing. And also, most of the times, we need a coach in ISO taking care in all of the athletes are getting warmed up, blah, blah, blah. Usually, what most of the teams are doing is all the coaches are going in ISO when it's open. And then when the first athlete is starting, half of the team would leave out to take care of appeals or to watch the competition. And some of the coaches, and we change between us. Me and my dear colleague Fritzi, she's the love of my life. She's the lead coach. We change between us. So the round of the boys, I'm going out, she's staying in. Then the girls, I will go. We change. There is no specific. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's wrap up here then. Thanks for joining me today. Do you have any like last minute words of wisdom you want to get out there?
You know, the graveyard is full with people that thought they are irreplaceable.
Oh, okay.
You asked for wisdom. I don't have an answer.
How does that apply to competitions?
Oh, it's not applying for competition. I just think it's a really wise thing to understand in your life, you know?
Okay, let me think about it.
You want wise climbing wise.
I mean, that one's good too. I need to think about that one for
Yeah,
a few days.
I will give you something else. Something that you discover when you work very, very, very hard as a coach. Yeah. That most of the time, the win of the athlete is the athlete's win. But the loss of an athlete, you share it. So it's the loss of both of you. And it's a hard position in the for coaches, you know, because there's only one guy standing on the podium, and it's the athlete. It doesn't matter how much hard work coaches are putting behind this athlete, you know. But when you lose, you all lose together.
Okay, that's good. And I will still think about the other one. I haven't heard that one before.
Never, really?
No, yeah, no.
Oh, it's for the concept of you know, people that are giving me ultimatums or telling me, if you do that, then I leave. And I always like saying, hey, everybody is replaceable, you know? So, and
Yikes.
no, I think it's a good, humble position for people to work with, you know? I know that I'm replaceable all the time, you know? So, yeah.
No, I think that makes sense. A lot of people get like really invested in their work and they feel like they have to give everything to their work. And then it's like, well, they don't really care that much about you necessarily. So I get that. Okay, cool. Do you want to like let people know where they can find you?
So 6 or 7 months ago, like beginning of the season, I deleted my social medias. Not because blah, 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 just because it was destroying my dopamine and
Yeah.
harming my sleeping time. And I said, okay, I have to just, I just have to get rid of it. But rarely I slowly start to check. I check my DMs on Instagram from time to time. Naknik setting on Instagram. But you know, there's always ways to get to me if people wants to.
Sounds good. I will leave that in the description. Well, thank you again, and it was great to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you. It was way easier than I expected. I was a bit terrified in the beginning.
Thank you so much for making it to the end of the podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Otherwise, you are a super fake climber. If you're listening on a podcasting platform, I'd appreciate if you rate it 5 stars, and you can continue the discussion on the free competition climbing Discord linked in the description. Thanks again for listening.